This is your sign from the universe to stop playing chess against bots and to start playing chess against real people. But if a sign from the universe isn't enough, I'm going to give you 5 reasons in this video why playing chess against bots could be bad for your long-term chess. You can see in this game that we start off actually playing fairly standard Caro-Kann theory, which is a bit strange from an 1100 rated player. After a while though, the queen starts making a little bit of a journey. As you can see, it goes from d8 to c8 to c7 to b6 in the space of 5 moves, and that's not very human behavior from another 1100 rated player who perhaps knows a little bit of opening theory. Far more standard is to do things like develop their bishop, get their king to safety, bring their other pieces out. I think you can reasonably expect that from a lot of human players. Over here, I set up a mate in one threat with bishop to g6, where the knight can't take the bishop because it's pinned, and I'm busy just threatening to go rook d8 checkmate. But of course, being a bot, it spots the mate in one, and it defends it with bishop to d7. Compare this to a move from earlier, where after the move d6 was played, black just ended up moving the knight and ignoring the one move attack on the bishop. This shows you that it's not very consistent in terms of what the player is doing if it spots every single mate in one thread, but it misses when pieces are just completely hanging. Stronger bots might end up doing things like correctly sacrificing a queen for maybe a minor piece or 2 minor pieces over rather losing a rook, whereas most human players would just lose a rook, then give up their queen for a minor piece. There's a few reasons that all of this can be a problem. If you mainly play against bots, you might get used to their crazy moves and expect weird moves like that in your calculations when you play against human opponents. And you'll also probably take longer to improve your chess through playing because the bot is programmed to make certain bad moves, and if you copy those moves thinking that they're good, you could end up learning bad habits that you'll have to try and unlearn later. On the flip side, your confidence might take a knock when you keep struggling to beat the bots because they spot all of your mate in one threats, unlike a real 1100 rated player, or they might defend really well every time you get any attack going. A second reason it's not great to play against bots is because they play really fast. It's really unnerving playing against another human being player who blitzes out their moves really quickly, and sometimes it makes us think that we need to move fast as well. And a bot is a very, very extreme case of this because every single move that they play is played quickly regardless of the position. For example, over here, after the move e4, black took 2.5 seconds to decide on the move c6. In contrast, after I played bishop to g6, a situation where as black you're feeling quite tense because mate in one is being threatened as I showed earlier, black took, you might have guessed it, 2.6 seconds to decide that sacrificing the bishop was the best move to stop this mate. When you're playing a game against a human, you're able to get an idea of how they're feeling in a position based on how long they take to move. You can see if they're still in their opening preparation, you can see if they've correctly calculated and spent enough time on their sacrifice, you can see if they're being taken by surprise by your moves, and all of these can be very, very useful insights to try and develop, but you won't get to practice or develop any of these insights if you just play against bots the whole time. I'd really appreciate it if you'd give this video a like to help it reach more people, and if you want to prove that you're not a bot, you can comment down below with your favorite bot-related movie. Or just any comment really that doesn't involve suspicious links or hot sexy girls in my area. A third reason is that bot ratings might not be entirely accurate, or at least they may not be representative of a human chess player of the same rating. An 1100 rated player in real life sometimes plays like a 1500, sometimes they play like a 600, sometimes they play like a 600, 1500 and an 1100 all in the same game. In this game against the MrBeast bot, I find that some of the time he plays really, really good and then almost to balance it out then immediately blunders. Humans don't work like this in order to just balance out the rating completely. I also find against the stronger rated bots, I find it a lot easier playing against a 1600 rated player than I do against a 1600 rated bot. And this could mean that you'll start to feel bad about your chess because you can't beat an 1100 rated bot. But in reality, you would be able to beat a lot of 1100 rated humans. This brings me to my next point. If you're playing against bots until you're good enough or brave enough to play against humans, it'll become harder and harder to play against humans the longer you delay it. And you can trust me on this because I'm a master of avoidance procrastination. Conversely, if you're playing against bots to avoid losing to people, or because you feel like a chess god because you have an insanely long winning streak from bullying the lower rated bots, you might end up having a really humiliating defeat when you do finally play against humans online or in person, and that could be bad enough to tempt you to quit because you do have then such a fragile ego and you've built up your self-esteem for chess on a very fragile base. Losing is close to 50% of chess if you're not a grandmaster, so you might as well venture out into the virtual chess world and play some real people. You can then start to become alright with losing and you can start to learn from your mistakes. The sooner you can do this, the better, and this brings me to the final reason I think you should play against humans more. One of my favorite things about chess is the community aspect, be it seeing familiar faces at tournaments, playing at chess clubs, or social chess evenings, or just coming across people playing chess in public and being able to join in. If you aren't able to play against some stranger online from across the world, you probably won't have the confidence to join in next time you see people playing at your local park, or to gather up enough confidence to visit your local chess club, or play that over-the-board event that you've been looking at. You might be missing out on a huge part of chess culture that you would really enjoy. I know I've trashed the bots a lot in this video, but that's not to say you shouldn't ever play against them. Keep an eye out for a future video on how bots can be helpful, and in the meantime, check out this tactics video if you want to learn a little bit more before you go out into the world to play chess against other humans. Thanks for watching, and happy chessing.